Hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Bass Creations Effects Tutorials, Demos, and Review. Today, we're going to be going through the brand new Tonex One, which is an amazing amp modeler, or stop box modeler as well. It does fuzzes and preamps and EQs as well. So it's not just your bass amp head, it's not just your bass cabinet. It also does your bass fuzzes, overdrives, distortions, and EQs. All right. So as you can hear, very realistic amps. Like because what they do is they allow you to model different amps that you may have at your house or anybody else, and it's a community. Um, I'm actually personally first subscribe, like, and share before we get too far. I really need y'all to hit that like button more and subscribe a lot more. And you know what I'm saying? I got plenty of more stuff coming up for y'all, tips and tricks. So, um, it allows you to pretty much any amp you have, and I've done a few. You just listen to a couple of them. Um, it allows you to model that stuff together. So the Aguilar AG preamp I have, which is over here on my pedal board, a little bit off screen at the moment. But I took that and this Fender, it's a Fender Bassman 115 Neo back there. I modeled that together, and I did the Gensler and the Magellan. And the Fender Bassman, I did the TC Electronic, what's that, the BH500 and the BC410s. Did that, and I also did the preamp from the BA 210 V2 ampeg, and I did the Magellan preamp, the AG preamp by itself, and the SGT, and the ampeg SGT, and the Eden WTDI. I did all of that last night and was able to model it, get it in here, and I just got this pedal yesterday, and I'm already able to present you guys with amp models, which is amazing. Just right off of the bat, tips and tricks. So first things first, when you're first setting up the software, make sure you give it access to your microphone. If you don't, audio will not go to the software. So even if you're using a different audio interface, it still won't. Audio won't come. It took me quite a bit of time to figure that out because I thought it was saying do I wanted to use the built-in microphone, and I had said no. So in order for you to use a preamp with this, you're going to have to give it access to your microphone on your MacBook if you're using Mac, at least. Now, right off of the back, let me explain something that IK Media, Multimedia. If somebody from y'all team, I need y'all to work on this. And this because this is just a firmware update, but I can't. So unless I'm in stomp box mode and I'm bypassing the pedal, when I'm auditioning sounds in the software, it's making it run through the three presets I have. One of those three presets, whichever one selected, if the pedal is active. So basically, right now I have it in stomp box mode. So that the Magellan and the Fender Bassman thing you see there that's highlighted in brown. If the pedal is active, right, and I want to go down here to this list of the tone models down bottom, I can't just audition those without them running through the stomp box mode preset. Or if I'm in dual mode, you can't turn it off or bypass it at all. So it's going to run through those presets that you have built in there, unless you bypass the pedal. And the only way to bypass is go to stomp mode and go to and bypass it. Press bypass. Stomp mode allows you to turn the toggle switch to turn on and off. Okay, so they can fix that with an update. It's not the end of the world, but it is something you need to be aware of when you are auditioning tones on here that you may have downloaded from ToneNet or that you made yourself, because I was trying to audition stuff and I was wondering why everything sounded different or the volume sounded different. It's because they were all running through this. So let me make sure that came back up. Yep. So I have it bypassed. Well, I had it bypassed. Put it on stop mode. Turn the pedal off. Bypass it. But now you can audition stuff in the software and not have it be affected by the presets you have built into the pedal. Very important to making these sound good. So let's say in here. So as you can see, I've downloaded some stuff and I've made some. Like I said, let me get to the ones I made first. These are all the ones I made between last night and today. So I was literally able to model a lot of my gear, and which allows me to take pretty much all of my amps with me everywhere I go. And so let's go through some of these. You heard the two Aguilar ones. So, and the BA one. So let's start with the Eden. So that's the Eden WTDI, and just for a quick reference, here's what the actual pedal sounds like. And here's the Tonex copy. The actual pedal. So it's pretty much about close. Now that one I didn't get the model with the longer process. I did the medium process. So there's three different process. What is it? Processes, or I can. Hey, that ain't what I do. I play bass. Hey, don't do all that. Don't do all that. Um, it's three of them. So you got this less quality. It takes less time, and highest quality takes the longest time, or best quality takes the longest amount of time. So the more quality, the longer the time it takes. So the shortest one I think was about 10 minutes, and the medium one was about 20, and the longer one was about an hour. Okay, so depending on your time restraints, that may be important. If you want the highest quality of something, you're gonna have to take some time with it. It's gonna take an hour to get there, but it'll be worth it, and you'll have it in a travel form that's the size smaller than there's the length of your thumb. Look at that. It's smaller than my hand. It's the length of, same length as my thumb. And it could fit in the palm of my hand. I could literally close it and you probably would barely be able to see it. It's the size of a Spectra Comp or the EHX Pico series pedals. Like they have the deep freeze. I did a review on that lately, and I did the Spectra Comp as well. And from TC Electronics, all these little pedals are getting crazy. So now you don't have to worry about like having a huge pedal board if all the time. Like you could literally have a bunch of small pedals and have just as much functionality. But let's talk about this one some more. So of course, on a physical pedal, You have three knobs, three smaller knobs that are color quarter. You know, they change colors and they light up. And then you have one big volume slash gain knob, right? So it's important that you learn these modes. If you're going to use this, and this is something that I was very critical of Line 6 about, was the difficulty in using their pedal, that Pod Express bass. This Tonex One does have a learning curve, but the amount of stuff it can do and what it can do for the price it is ridiculous. It's also metal compared to the cheap plastic, you know. And it also like literally allows you to do a feature that can only be found on stuff that's usually $1,000 and up. You know, that's the one thing about the Tonex series. Even the big Tonex is about 400. So they at 170, 180. This is a still like you could buy two of these and have a stereo rig of amps, and you know, and you still didn't break the bank. And it comes with the special edition Tonex software, which lets you download unlimited tone net presets or captures, as well as you can make unlimited captures yourself. And you can make captures with cheaper mics. You don't have to buy expensive mics. You could. I did my captures with the Zoom L12 live track mixer and CAD D10 kick mic and a CAD GXL 2200 condenser mic that was closer to the tweeter of whatever amp I was recording. And I used the kick mic on closer to the edge of the speaker cones, usually to get that real heavy bottom and get all the definition from the tweeter and you know things like that. So you can experiment with different mic placement and how far they are from it. The cabinet makes a huge difference. The further it is, the more of the room you're going to hear in the IR. And the closer it is, the more of just the cabinet you're going to hear, and the more bass you're going to get as well. Like, so if you need a lot of booty on one mic, you can have the other one a little further away and have the mix so you can have as much highs or lows as you want, like that. You know, that's a decent way to do it. But this software allows you to do all of that. Allows you to do all of that stuff. Something that, you know, the other companies, they kill. IK Multimedia is killing right now. They smashing with this one. So that was the Eden. Here's my Gensler Magellan preamp and the Fender Bassman 115 with a tweeter. Neo. That was actually just the cabinet, but here's the preamp and the cabinet. And the killing thing about this software is, it when it models the amp and the head, I mean the head and the cabinet, it models them separately, which is crazy. So it picks out what the head tone is and what the cabinet tone, it separates them. So you get an IR for the cabinet and a model for the head at the same time, which is crazy. That's just bananas. So that was actually me flipping back and forth between. So that last one was the Tonex software, and the one before was right before that was the actual preamp itself. So it gives you really gets that tonal quality in there. I really love this software. It's amazing. Oh, let me turn this back on because I'll be looking to use it. But here's just the Gensler Magellan preamp, and I did this one on the more detailed advanced mode. So this was the long. This one took an hour. That's the actual preamp, and here's the model. The real one. The Tonex software. So as you can hear, it's very close. It's very close. And as they start to add as they start to add more features and update things, like fixing that little problem I was talking about, or just getting these software modeling a little better in the low end, because originally this is aimed more at guitar players and they're just kind of, but now bass players we starting to be, catch on to it a little more. Like if you look, it's so many tone net captures for all the guitar stuff. It is a ton of them for bass as well. But we need more. So y'all got to get up on here and start doing some captures, or y'all could buy some of mine. I'm gonna be selling mine as well. Um, I'm be making them, and as I get new gear and stuff, I'll be modeling that stuff as well. So, um, you'll eventually have models of anything you see me playing, and in my exact settings. Like so. But I would say on this modeling part of it, on the modeler, when you're doing the bass ones, they need to have more low end. Um, they need is there maybe you guys could find a way to model the low, recreate the bottom of the preamps a little more. You know, because for me, like all my captures I've done of my preamps are very close, very close. Like I wouldn't be complaining to just take that with me versus taking the actual preamp and risking, for a gig that ain't really paying all of that like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather just take the little Tonex joint and then have all that stuff in there, models of it at the very least. It's never gonna be the analog head. These preamps are analog that I'm using. So there's a reason why they're not cheap, and there's a reason why they sound so good. Software hasn't caught up to that just yet. But if they could just give us some more low end, if they could um, if they could do maybe like a different EQ settings for the bass section, the bass modeling part of it, that would be awesome. That would really help us out a lot, actually, in terms of just getting us different things. That would help. Um, what else we got? Oh, so I got the SGT um, on the B15 SGT circuit on, running through a Fender Bassman Neo. Oh, I skipped right over the Harkey, didn't I? Harkey into the Fender Bassman Neo, Harkey TX 600. That's my bass, just my bass by itself. Oh, sorry, sorry. Doing that. So that's my bass with nothing on it. Yeah, there we go. Just put a little booty on it. So that's gonna be my bass. And the only reason there's this much latency is because I had to set the buffer size so I could actually get this video done. Because believe it or not, this is the second or third time I've tried to do this video, and I've actually spent about 3 hours trying to do this video. And the other two times were unsuccessful. So this is how much I need you guys' support. Hit that subscribe, like, and share. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get to this next level in this YouTube game. This is what I'm trying to do full time. I'm trying to be on here teaching you guys how to be the best bass players you could possibly be. I'm going to do an improvisation course on Patreon. I'm going to do a technique class on Patreon as well. So you can look out for that. Make sure you go to all the streaming services, and you can search for Reggie Payne Bass, all bass creations, or you can search for the Bass Negus, Negus. Go to Bandcamp and find my stuff on there. But make sure you find me everywhere. Let's keep rocking. Also hit that super thanks and the Cash App too. You know what I'm saying? That's always important. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. I always appreciate it. Even $1, $2, I appreciate it. So, moving on here. Here's the cabinet by itself. And that's a nice sounding cabinet, That is a nice sounding cabinet. You just gotta it's a nice sounding cab model. And that was done on media. Oh yeah, that's so nice. And of course you got the compressor and noise gate here as well. You can I don't particularly use a noise gate unless I'm using distortion or overdrive or something of that nature, or an octave pedal, a low octave, no, just an octave down. Synth mono phonic pedals that need a little help. But the compressor, they don't give you a whole lot of options with this stuff. I'm going to show you guys how to work the physical pedal too, because that's a whole learning curve within itself. If you don't, I would suggest just using the software for a lot of stuff, but in some stuff you gotta use the software for regardless. Like you need to, to get all the tone net stuff and do all that. You're gonna have to get the app for the iPhone or iPad, which is amazing. So you can just take your iPhone or iPad and control this little pedal and have hundreds of amps, thousands of amps at your disposal right there on the gig, which is crazy. Never before has that been available in something this small, which is ridiculous because it's the size of your thumb. It's the length of your thumb, and it's like so little. But and just for a comparison, this is a bike light. The bike light is bigger than the pedal. Like a bicycle bike. Like, sheesh. It's amazing. Technology. IK Media knocked this one out the park. They just need to fix those little kinks in the firmware and the software where you don't have to go into stop mode and bypass the pedal just to audition stuff. It should already be available depending on where you're clicking. You know what I'm saying? So they just came out this a few weeks ago, so all this stuff can be fixed. This is firmware 1.00, you know what I'm saying? So they can fix all this stuff. I'm not worried. This is still an amazing pedal. Still one of the best. This is one of the best things you could buy, and I haven't seen a pedal this amazing in a long time. This is an amazing little pedal for what it does, for its size, for the cost. Like, people wouldn't even have been complaining like that if this had cost an extra $100 from where it is. But they wanted to keep it away from the price point of the bigger one. You know what I'm saying? So they made it even more accessible when other companies would have been trying to make you spend more money. Thank you, IK Media. I know y'all ain't get everything perfect with the joint the first time around. Y'all need people like me. You should send it to me next time and let me help you. And at the same time, we can help each other. I'll work with y'all. I'll rock with y'all. Shoot, y'all might as well just go and hire me on staff. Go ahead and put me on staff for a little while. Y'all don't. Nobody can hire me. You could contract me to do some stuff. But I digress. I think that's the right word. One of them words. So we were starting to talk about the physical pedal itself. And as you can see, like I said, we already explained the four knobs and the toggle switch. So there's certain modes you got to get familiar with. We already started talking about them. You got dual mode and stomp mode. And before we even get to those, let's talk about. So say you got the first thing you do when you press this Alt button is these are now representing these alternate stuff here. That's on the bottom. So it's going to respond to the threshold of the gate, the threshold of the compressor, and the amount of reverb that is applied to the sound. All right, so when it's flashing like that, slowly and continuously, that means you're in alternate mode right there. So bam. But if you hold it down for 3 seconds, right? You hold it down for 3 seconds. You can put it in safe mode. So what is safe mode? So say you already got your sound you want on, and you don't want it to change or anything. You don't want to accidentally say you want to put this underneath your pedal board, or you want to put it somewhere where you can't necessarily get to it on your pedal board, but you want it to always be on, and you don't want to accidentally bump it or none of that. So you hold this down alt for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Blink, put you in safe mode. Right now, every time you try to change something, it's just going to blink. You're not going to be changing nothing. All right? Only thing you can do is turn it on and off. You can't change nothing. See that? But then if you hold it down for 1, 2, 3 more seconds, you check it out. Yep. See, now you're affecting it. Bam. So, let me make sure y'all can see this good. Yep. All right. So, that's that setting. Mode. Pretty much that's the safe mode. Then you got the setup mode, which is where you'll control some other things. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it'll turn blue. Right? Alternate button, turn to blue. Blue is setup mode, right? And I just got this pedal yesterday, so I had to memorize all this since yesterday, and it's doable. It's not even that big of a deal. Like, one, you're gonna do most things in the software, but stuff I'm doing on the pedal is easy to do. So that puts you in where this bass knob is now switches you between the modes. Let me see. Put it up on the software. So now when I change the bass knob to the right, it changes to stomp mode, which is where this toggle switch turns that particular preset on and off, because it allows you to hold up to 3 3 captures for immediate recall. Right. So one of them's in stomp mode, and the other 2 are in dual mode, where you can flip back and forth between them with the toggle switch. So this is stomp box mode, the orange one. And you turn it this way, it'll turn green. Now it's the dual mode. And as you see, when you click on that toggle, it goes back and forth now. All right, cool. So now that we don't want to be there no more, we're going to hold this for 6 seconds, get back in the setup mode, right? Turn blue again. So now you have the option to turn the amp cabs off globally. So meaning turn off all the cab models, meaning the speaker models, turn them all off. So when you turn to each preset, it's just the preamps and it's everything else but the cab models. So you can use the preamp sounds as as the preamp for different heads and cabinets. So, for instance, say I wanted to use this SGT B15, or this. Say I wanted to use this Noble tube preamp as a head for as the preamp for a bass amp, right? So I take that, I cue that up, and then I run this Tonex into the power amp in or the return of a bass amp. So some bass amps have effects loops where it's send and return. If it's a send and return, you plug it into the return. If it's power amp in, power preamp out, you plug it into the power amp in, and pretty much it goes directly into the power amp. So where the power of the amp is. So if it's 600 watts, goes into the 600 watts of power, then goes into the bass cabinet that you're running that amp to. If it's a combo, it's the one that's built in. If it's a head and cabinet, it's going to bypass the preamp on the head and go straight to the power section and then straight to the bass cabinet. So allowing you to essentially be able to switch amp heads in the middle of a gig without switching amp heads. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's basically you can flip through these presets and use those different presets, preamps, as your preamp for your actual physical bass rig, which is amazing too. And, you know, so you can run it to the PA system or recording system with the cabinets on. But if you're running it to a bass amp, you're going to definitely want to bypass those cabinets. And this is a way where you don't have to do it for each individual one. And you don't have to lose out on what you already have. So you just want to bypass all of them. You don't want to take it off because you might want to use it for a recording or something later. You can just do it this way. This is the way to do it globally. Turn it off, and then when you want them all back on, you come back and you turn it, and it's green. All right. So now we got the input trim. So as you can see, it's not lit, but when I play, when it's good, it'll be the same lit as green as the same bright green as the other knobs. But if it's underpowered, it'll look like this. If it's so basically you would just give it some more until it got bright green, and if you go too far, it'll turn red. See that? Damn. So you back it off a little bit, and now your signal is optimized for the amp models and everything the Tonex One needs it to do. So now that's setup mode, right? And this is also, when you're in setup mode, this is where you control the master volume of the pedal. So when you're in setup mode, you change the volume knob in the middle, and that's your master volume for everything, for the entire pedal, period. So now we want to get out of this mode. We just press the toggle switch there, and now we can be back in dual mode where we left off. A quick way to get out of, well, let's not even go there yet. Now, next mode is the browser mode, which is one of my favorite modes on here. Okay, so the browser mode allows you, if you don't have if you're not using the software or you don't feel like using it, all that stuff, you just want to, for me, sometimes looking at names can affect your amp or something you're going to use that day. You know, instead of just listening to the tone and what sounds good to you that day. You know, so if you're one of those type of people, this is a way where you ain't got to look at the names and you don't have to hook up to no software or nothing. You just go press the Alt button and the toggle switch at the same time. It's going to take you, have them all lit up like this, right? So bam. So the one that's blinking is the one you're going to be able to change at the moment. So you turn this and you see it's turning colors. Every time it changes colors, it's changing presets for that particular slot. Right? And so it allows you to store up to 20 different presets. And when you play bass, you're going to have to change all 20 presets because they're all guitar presets at first. So, but you could go on, even if you don't want to make your own, just go to ToneNet, and it is a slew of these things. It is a slew of them. Like, it's a lot. I mean, almost everything you could think of amp wise. You got Phil Jones. You got all the ampeg stuff, of course. You got Galley and Kruger. You got Fender. And then you could just click on these and it'll load like that, and then you can literally just audition sounds. Let me switch this in this mode. Bypass it, and then I'll come back to bam in that mode. You can just try them out like that, right? You just try them out. And that's one of the best parts about this. Like, of course, like if you go to the guitar section, it's way more. But you can just skip all those, press bass. You know what I'm saying? And you got access to all these joints on here. Just download and stuff. Ain't no big deal. If you like something, they'll show up there. But the ones I've already went through, oh, that's the modeler section. We'll talk about that, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to do one right now. We're going to do one in a separate video. So, let's see. Let's get to all the ones I own. These are the ones I downloaded. So, I don't have a Galley and Kruger. What's that? 2001 RB. I don't have that. I don't have an 800 RB. I don't have a Noble. But now I do. I got all the sounds now. Look, GKMB 500, Phil Jones amps, T's Electroharmonix Scoop, which is a BG 250. I also modeled my BH 500. Told you guys that. Orange Thunder, whatever, Thundercat, Thunder Terror, whatever, Thunder something. Trace Elliott, and you just click on them. Yep. And while we here, just so you guys know, well, but yeah, so you can just change those like that. But when you on and download, that's how easy they are to download and get and do this and that. You can have them look like this. and you just download them from there. But back to the actual pedal. So out of these 20 I have on here, which is this middle list, is the ones you got on here, looking like a PlayStation. It look like the game consoles. Command list or control like the button list. That's what it look like. But you could change these colors too. So say if I wanted that to be a yellow instead of red, I could do that. Gray or white or whatever. They ain't even come on. That's off. Anyway, gray is off. But yeah, so you can color code them by brand. Red for Ampeg, blue for Gallion Kruger, or you could do by texture, or character. Red for your more aggressive sounds like distortion and overdrive stuff, and blue for your more chill sounds, and then just transition in between. Green for your clean sounds like Ampeg, that have some saturation to them, things like that. You can have whatever system you need to have to organize them in your head, so for when you're using them. But if you want to let's get back to this real quick. You see the one that's blinking there? It's that one. That's your stomp section. Stomp mode section. You see, I can just flip it through all 20 of them. Well, it's not. It's the other 18 that's not selected. You can't select the same ones. So you can only have one of each in each slot. So, but not. You can have more than. You can have like a different Noble. You can have like a different Gallion Kruger and Fender one, but you can't like have the same exact one in two slots because it won't let you. So really, you just flip when you're flipping through manually like this, you won't be able to see it on the screen, because you won't have the computer, software up. Because this is browser mode on here. Again, just press Alt and the toggle switch, and it gets you right here. This tells you which one you on, which one you're editing, and the colors tell you what type of sound, which sound that the sound's changing. So if I want to switch to another preset side, I just press the toggle switch, and it allows me to flip through for that one. Then when I want the one in the middle, same thing. You see the one that's blinking, and you can change it. Alright, so that is a really cool feature there and really helpful. Really helpful, useful. And this is my little hack for y'all. This is a way you can actually have a 3 amp channel thing going on with this. Like have 3 different amps you can just toggle through. You just put it in this mode by pressing these two, by Alt and toggle, and now you could just flip through. So that's another little hack for you guys, or tip or trick. You can just use the browser mode as a 3-channel switch, and then you can also just switch amps in there if you wanted to. And like I said, that way you're auditioning sounds, and you can use your ears more than your eyes, or I want this type of sound. Like, you got to experiment. You got to leave room for things to just happen too musically. You can't always be so rigid. So that helps you get away from just using the same amps all the time, your go-to amps. You get on there, you flip through, you might find something else that you might be like, you never even thought to use it. You're going to think to use it because you put it on there. It's only 20 slots. But, some you might not normally use all the time. That helps get you out of the same old, So, definitely helps. Let's see what we got here. Dun dun dun. There we go. So you got to be at home. If you want to download these ones off of the ToneNet, you have to be at home. And see, this stuff they got to fix. You know, it's just little bugs. So you can't download from ToneNet from the librarian shutter, right? Even though you're looking at all. Oh, was that Joyo? What was that? See, all these are different ones. You could just click on them and try them. Like, you know, it's not even hard. Like, sorry. See? Hey, that doesn't belong in the bass section. Give me 1 second, guys. There we go. So, you got a knee, Shelford. What is that? All these different sounds, you just click on them, but you there's something else for them to fix. So let me see a little pen. So I'm gonna make a little note of stuff they need to fix, so I could tell them. And why y'all need me on the team? Y'all need me on the team. I had this joint for less than a day, and already figured out a bunch of bugs. So the number one is you can't audition sounds without bypassing first. You also can't download ToneNet captures without being on the home screen. I don't know why I'm talking like this. I don't know why I be doing that when I'm writing like this. Also, like I said, that's just a little bugs they can fix. It's not nothing crazy, or nothing that is abnormal for something this brand new. You're gonna have kinks and bugs. So that's just the two main ones: is the bypass to audition, and a way around that, and the fact that you can't download ToneNet stuff. I'm sure I'll find some more stuff. I usually do. But sorry, the latency is crazy right now, just because of because I'm doing video. Sorry, guys. That's why I turned the mic off. But this, as you can see, it's only firmware version 1, so you got to give them some slack on that. But yeah, you can just flip through 3 different amps that way in browser mode, and I prefer this mode. If I'm gonna use the pedal by itself, I'm gonna just put it in browser mode and flip through 3 amps. And if I want to change the amp, I can just literally bend down and flip through amps and find one I like, and then I don't even need to lock it in because this big knob is in between. This knob is not doing nothing but giving you the volume of each one. So you can also, in this mode, as you flipping through, you can adjust the volume of each patch individually, which is awesome. You can just not bypass, you can adjust and volume match them a lot better by flipping through them directly back to back as well. And in that way, you're not having all these volume spikes in the middle of a show. which will make your life a lot better. Make sure you guys can see all that stuff. But yeah, oh, and then you also have tuner mode, which you just hold down the pedal. Well, you got to get out of browser mode, but you just hold down the toggle switch and you got tuner. And it's a really good one too. So let's go out of tune, come back in tune. Bam, see that? Bam, good tuner. On there, you just press it to get out of it, and then you're back in. This is green, it's dual mode, and when it's orange, it's stomp mode. So you got green is dual mode, orange or red. Orange or red is stomp mode. Blue is setup mode, and then purple is browser mode. So, and then you also can hold it down for 3 seconds to do safe mode, or if you need to get to these alt features like the reverb, the threshold for the compressor, and threshold for the noise gate, you just press once, just one click. Oh, that's pretty much the whole functionality of the little pedal. And I know it's quite a few things you got to memorize there, but it's actually pretty intuitive. The mostly one thing you got to remember is between the 3 and the 6 seconds. 3 seconds is going to lock. 6 seconds is going to pretty much is going into setup mode. Setup mode is where you turn on and off things like you can switch modes. You can turn on and off the bass cabinets, and you can also change your input gain, pretty much input trim. And browser mode, you can change the presets. Browser mode, you press Alt and bypass, or Alt and the toggle at the same time. So you press and bam, it'd be purple, and then bam, you can flip through all 3 of your sounds there. You can also change their volume. So that's pretty much the whole function, the basic functionality of this pedal, in a nutshell, really quickly. Then on the software side of the game, when you download it, you install it. You could put it on iPhone and iPad as well, which is amazing. Like almost all this functionality is almost the same on the iPad and iPhone, which is crazy, like a crazy deal. And so, yeah, you can download all these sounds onto your iPad and iPhone and just be on there swapping out sounds in the middle of a show if you wanted to, or whatever it is you feel necessary to do. But when you're downloading the software and you're installing it, make sure you give it the mic access to the microphone on your laptop or your whatever device is asking, because you can't use the audio interface without that, and it won't make a sound, and you'll be trying to make captures like me for a little bit and be looking crazy like, why is it not working? So getting to the model section, we're not going and doing any models right now. And you can only download, make sure you guys understand that you gotta, if you want to download those sounds, because it took me a while to figure that out too. You want to download those sounds, you gotta do it from the home screen. Press home, then press tone net, and then you can press bass if you want to, or whatever other filter you want to add on there. 4 tens or 112, 8 tens, and whatever filter you want to put on there, and get the results and click it. Press download there in the middle of the screen. Download, bam, it'll do that. Load tone model. Now it's downloaded just that quick. So that is so useful and amazing. If you want to make your own tone captures, come here to the modeler. Press bass, because this is all bass creations. Effects, tutorials, demos, and review. Hit subscribe, like, and share. Let's go. Pick what type of rig you want to do. Like I told you, it'll do your amp and your cabinet at the same time, and it'll model them separately, which is bananas. I mean, that's time saving within itself. But it'll give you a model of the head and a model and the IR of the cabinet, which is And it'll give you dual IRs too, because there's two microphones, up to two microphones you can use on the cabinet, which is bananas. Then you got your, it can also do stomp boxes. So it can only do fuzz, overdrive, distortion, and EQs and preamps. What it cannot do, okay, it can't do, it can't do compressors or time-based effects like modulations, delays. It can't do reverbs. It can't just like model any old effect. They just say stomp boxes just so they don't have to explain. And if you ask them or you go look into it, it'll tell you it's a whole bunch of. It tell you right there on the screen what you can't no time based phase based effects like rada rada rada, no pitch shifters, no chorus phasers, tremolos, no none of that stuff. You know, only distortions, overdrives, fuzzes, um, amps, bass cabinets, and preamps in EQs. And I think that's it. So, but that's a lot though. Like that's you making your own custom multi effects rig. Like that's crazy. Like this is literally crazy because you already got a built-in compressor, noise gate. You know what I'm saying? And you can make your own amping head. You can put your own amp head and cabinet in there, and your own stomp boxes or combinations of the joints. So you ain't even gotta switch them all on. All you gotta do is switch the preset, and all these joints that come on, cause it's already in the signal chain. Bam. And that is amazing. You can do the amp head by itself. So for best results, I like to do. I really would prefer to do the cabinet by itself, but they don't really. It don't look like they got an option for that per se. But the cabinet by itself would be amazing because you got the amp by. That means you can get really high quality with it. But I guess a lot of the detail needs to go into the head and the stomp box side of it, and they can get a decent amount of. They can do the IRs from the cabinets relatively easily. So it looks like it spends most of the process getting the stomp box and the preamps and heads and stuff together. Um, but yeah, so you click on that, and then it gives you what you need to do. You need three inputs and three outputs to do a amp and cabinet. All right, but if you only got a two in and two out, like a medium, little small size audio interface, because you can use any audio interface. You don't have to have a reamp box. They only tell you that, but you get the best results with that. But you don't have to have that. I did mine with a Zoom L12, and I used a CAD mic with a CAD D10 kick mic from this drum kit, and I use a CAD GXL 2200 large condenser mic closer to the tweeter. Excuse me, and then mix the two, right? So if you're just doing a stomp box or amp model, you don't need. You still need three outputs. I don't even know why they tell you need two outputs. You need three outputs because it won't let you select the same one, But maybe I wonder if it'll let you roll with it that way. Let me see. 8 and 4. That's just two inputs, two outputs, and will it let me rock? No, it won't. You gonna have to assign this to something. So you need three. You need three outputs, two inputs. For that, what about this? Same thing. Yep. So you need pretty much a 3x3 audio interface. Yep, you need 3x3 audio interface. You'll check your line level. there. If it needs more sound, you give it more sound. Rada. It'll need more than I was just giving it. But this part is optional. This input level part is optional because this is not even the input that they're gonna be using for this. So you can check it and see what it sounds like versus the capture versus the real one. That's all that is. But you can do without it, because I was doing my captures without even playing my bass, because I was using this right here. So you see where it says, so you got the mic inputs, but you got the source level here, right? So I would just play that, but I would use the bass ones down at the bottom, right, and set my levels of my amp and my microphone. Well, set the levels of the amp and the microphone, the cabinets, and then blend right here. And if I'm using like a kick mic or a sub frequency mic on one, I'll probably lean towards that, and then have the condenser mic or the much brighter, all my highs on the other side. So that way, if I wanted a brighter sound, I go to the right. If I wanted a darker sound, I go to the left. Listening level, you can adjust that to taste. But you pretty much got these three bass sounds here. Foundation, slap, and bass at the very bottom of the list. Just built in. You don't have to play to get it done. Then you would hit capture, and it'll make some funny noises. Then it'll play some bass lines and stuff like that. And then from there, you would just select whether you wanted a high quality one that's going to take an hour, medium quality at 20 minutes, or a lesser quality one at about 10 minutes, just a quick one. Just to, you might just want to get a sample and see if this is something you really want to do, if you need to change your mic placement or whatever the case. But yeah, and that's something else you can do. You can do a lower quality one to check and make sure that your mic placement is where you wanted it to be when you go back and play it. And if that joint sounds good, then you already know if you go back and do it on the high quality one, it's going to sound amazing. So yeah, that's the whole modeling process. But I'll go back and I'm going to do another video and we'll actually go through the process. So here's the, where you set up your audio interface and all your audio needs. Buffering size, you see my buffering size all big, but it'll go down to 32. 32 is plenty enough for you to not notice, and definitely the audience will not notice. People need about 100 milliseconds to notice something. So that's a 64 and 32 are just fine. 32 is definitely better, but soon, man, ain't gonna be no such thing as latency. You see how small these pedals are getting? You think the latency ain't gonna go? Latency is gonna be a thing of the past at some point. Everything gonna sound like analog soon, even if it's digital. Cause this is bananas that you can just model all this stuff like a Noble preamp and all this other stuff in here. Let's play some more. We ain't did a lot of talking today, cause it's just a lot of stuff. We're gonna do some more videos where we play more. I don't normally talk this much, but it's just so much. There's so much stuff. So to get out of this mode, we press those two, bypass the, put the pedal on bypass mode. Now we can audition stuff from the internet or stuff that we already have. Here we go. But yeah, guys. So that's all I'm gonna do right now on this. And I'm gonna do a whole series of videos on this because there's so much to unpack. We ain't even get to go through a lot of these sounds. Like there's so many sounds and stuff that's been modeled already, and I got so many things that I'm a model through this software. You guys are gonna be able to buy a lot of the gear that I'll be reviewing. That's preamp or EQ based, but I'll tell you now, ain't nothing like the real thing. You know, ain't nothing ever gonna be like. It's a reason why the real thing still exists, and the analog is still analog. Trust me. But these do sound amazing, and it gets you the essence. It gets you the essence of it. Um, it's like somebody stole your swag. You're like, yo, you just it ain't you, but you like, yo, it looked like you a little bit because like, yo, what? Cuz over here got your shoes, your pants, your hat, your shirt. You know what I'm saying? They just might be a little bit lighter than you, a little bit taller, a little bit shorter, a little bit more muscular. But they ain't talking like you. They using your slang. You know what I'm saying? They talking to the ladies how you talk to them and stuff. You like, whoa, 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 stealing my stuff, brother. You know you might want to relax, huh? Huh? Get up off me. That's what Tonex is doing to everybody. That's what Tonex is doing that to everybody, and like, and I'm doing it better than you. And I'm doing it better than you. I stole your swag, and I'm gonna do it more than you. I'm still everybody's swag, not just yours. It's just yours today. Tomorrow it's their swag, and it's their swag. Matter of fact, it might be the next hour is your swag. If you give me, it might be the next 10 minutes, because it only take me 10 minutes to get your swag up off you. That's what Tonex just did. It's bananas, but this has been another episode of All Bass Creations, Effects, Tutorials, Demos, and Review. Please subscribe, like, and share. Find me on all social media, The Bass Niggas. And all my music on allbasscreations.bandcamp. And hit the Cash App, $ REGGIE PAYNEBASS. Okay? It'll be in the description as well, and you can hit the super thanks if you feel like that's a little better, you know. Either way, I definitely appreciate everything. If this video helped you out and you got some tips or tricks, or you learned something, or I convinced you to buy the pedal or whatever, leave it in the comments. I appreciate you guys. Peace.